Okay, so at this point, we're going to open the regular meeting and go into closed session. Let me go ahead and find my script for that. Again, the CIP is available online for people to take a look at. It will be approved along with the budget as the schedule dictates, also posted online. So I would like to call this meeting of the Prince William County School Board to order. Pursuant to School Board Policy 139, the school board member participation in meetings by electronic communication. School board members Lily Jesse of the Occoquan District and Diane Ralston in the Absco District will participate in this meeting through electronic means from their homes due to a medical condition that prevents their physical attendance. The clerk will so note in the minutes of the meeting. Approval of the closed session agenda. A motion is in order for the approval of the closed session agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Zargarpur.
I move that the Prince William County School Board approve the closed session agenda as recommended.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Williams?
I second.
Any discussion? Please vote. Ms. Jesse, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jesse votes yes. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes. It hasn't popped up on my screen. Did it pop up?
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
What do I got? Do I have-
I just did it.
All right, moving on to the motion to enter closed session. The motion is in order.
Mr. Chairman, I move that pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711 and 2.2-3712, the Prince William County School Board enter closed session for the following reasons. 1, to discuss with the superintendent and staff the resignation, performance, discipline, appointment, and release of specific employees and to receive advice on related legal issues as provided by Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A, 1 and 8. 2, to consult with legal counsel and receive advice on legal matters relating to specific students and employees, active investigations, and other specific legal matters requiring the advice of counsel under Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A, 1, 2, and 8. 3, to consult with division counsel regarding legal aspects of Policy 123, duties of the clerk, and the deputy clerk, as provided by Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A, 8. 4, to consult with division counsel regarding the retention and provision of legal services by outside counsel for specific legal matters as provided by Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A, 1 and 8. And 5, to consult with staff and legal counsel regarding the disposition of real property for school purposes, the discussion of which in open session would negatively impact the school division's bargaining position as provided by Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A, 3 and 8.
Do you have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Williams?
I second.
Any discussion? Please vote. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes. Ms. Jesse, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jesse votes yes.
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
So at this time, the Prince William County School Board will now enter closed session. We will return actually promptly at 7 because we have a public hearing. And if we need to go back into closed session, we'll do it after the meeting. Thank you. Okay, I would like to move the school board back into open session. We have a number of items we need to clear before we move into the public hearing. We have to do our closed session certification, so a motion's in order. Ms. Zargarpur.
Mr. Chairman, I move that pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3712, the closed session of the Prince William County School Board meeting of January 12th, 2022 be certified by adopting the following resolution. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Prince William County School Board hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and 2, only such public business matters were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard or discussed or considered by the school board.
Do I have a second? Ms. Wall.
I second.
Any discussion? Please vote. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jessie votes yes.
Seven yes, one not present vote. Williams, motion passed.
Moving on to the approval of appointments and releases of motions in order. Ms.
Mr. Chairman.
Zargarpur.
I move that the Prince William County School Board approve the appointments and releases of specific employees and the retention of outside counsel as presented in the closed session.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Williams.
second.
Any discussion? Please vote. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jessie votes yes.
Vote is 8 yes, motion passed.
Okay, at this point, we will open the public hearing, so I have to read this. I declare that the public hearing is now open on the subject of the superintendent's proposed strategic plan. Any citizen who signed up to speak on the subject may do so when called upon. Citizens will have 3 minutes to speak and are limited to speaking on the topic of the proposed strategic plan. Please use proper decorum. There are 10 citizens signed up to speak at the public hearing this evening. Please come to the podium when your name is called. Our first speaker will be Mr. Jeff Fuller.
Hello, Board. Dr. McDade, neighbors. Well, I want to offer first a positive comment about the plan. It was very well written, very well designed, 55 pages, 25,000 words. I like the way Dr. McDade started off the introduction of it. She talked about a collective vision and of what the object of the exercise of Prince William County Schools is, and I thought that was good. I was not impressed with this concept that you introduced of graduates must thrive as well-rounded global citizens. I understand where the sentiment comes from. I would argue that they need to thrive as well-rounded citizens who can effectively compete in the global market or something like that. But I don't think, they're not going to be voting in the UN, okay? Dr. McDade, on the 15th of November at a school board meeting, or no, at Ms. Williams' non-town hall, you mentioned that you were going to provide an opportunity for the public to go in detail in the plan, objectives and so forth. I took the trouble of recording it because I thought that was an important statement. And I was very relieved and happy about it. I don't see any evidence that that's going to happen. And that's one of my main messages here, is where's the transparency? Where's the opportunity for the public and you to have a dialogue, questions and answers about the plan? The plan is full of policy and it has to be obviously approved by the school board. I would like the school board to be involved in the key muscle groups of the plan. So I don't want to get down into the weeds, and I don't have time to do that. You introduce a concept of 6 core values. I couldn't figure out where those came from. One of them was inclusivity, whatever that means. So I would ask, what is the evidence when you come up with something like that in the social sciences, in the research that says these core values, if an organization has them, will be more successful in delivering education? Otherwise, it's word salad to me. I was surprised that you didn't have something that emphasized the importance of reading, early reading, on brain development and long-term success in life. I mean, this is science that's been out there since, as I understand it, the 60s or 70s.
Thank you, Mr. Fuller.
Am I over? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
Jessica
for
Newton.
listening.
Good evening. I read through your strategic plan, Dr. McDade, and on the research bibliography page, it states at the very top that you partnered with Hanover Research in the development of this plan. It doesn't seem like you developed anything. Looks like you bought a plan, because that's what Hanover Research sells, and then popped Prince William County Schools all through it. If you scroll down their homepage to their section on education, the one of only 2 referenced articles at the top is an anti-racism discussion guide. They state it is imperative for districts and school leaders to cultivate anti-racist school systems that embrace diversity and advance equity. They also state that leaders across the country are asking how they, as individuals, can examine their own beliefs and actions and foster an environment in which they can push conversations about race, racism, and other equity issues. Although conversations about race pull individuals out of their comfort zones and at times lead to conflict and tension between participants, it's important to lead productive discussions about equity in your districts and schools. That's pretty shocking. Commitment number 2 on your plan is about positive climate and culture. It says that, among other things, you're committing to provide social emotional learning to all students, and the curriculum will be provided by VDOE. The Virginia Department of Education states that they will cover 5 areas as defined by CASEL, which is Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. Those 5 areas are self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. Social emotional learning is a lever to push equity as per the CASEL website, and in a webinar on dismantling inequities, they go so far as to say the point is to, quote, cultivate anti-racist mindsets and achieve, quote, equitable outcomes. What happened to equal opportunity? Why wouldn't we want that? If you're really aiming to have students who are critical thinkers, then why would you want equitable outcomes? They all have to think one way to do that. Social emotional learning is technically considered morality. If you decide a MAGA hat is going to hurt someone's feelings and tell my kid that's bad, that's not your job. That's mine. Social emotional learning was originally created as a framework to deal with children having problems at home or otherwise that a school counselor can then work with them on one-on-one. Tasking our teachers to become the morality police with yet another training and task that people have degrees to deal with properly is irresponsible. Their focus and our students' focus should be on the education aspect, on core subjects, and taking the time they desperately need to master them. They aren't your sociology project. You owe everyone better. Implementation of your social emotional learning plan will make our children insecure. My own daughters tell me that their teachers aren't doing this quite yet, but all of their friends are already talking about its anti-racist concepts. Why should they feel bad for being white? Our children are innocent. Reinforcing their confusion by bringing this into our curriculum is abusive. We are not racist, they are not oppressors, and I'm not going away. Thank you.
Ms. Gloria Jordan.
Good evening, board members, Vice Chair Zargapur, Chair Lateef, and Dr. McDade. My name is Gloria Jordan, and I live in the Coles District. When I was growing up, my mom used to say things like, begin with the end in mind, or if you don't know where you're going, you'll probably end up somewhere else. I have 2 kids at Colgan High School and 1 at Ashland. My oldest is in their 2nd year at James Madison. I say all of this to let you know that I have seen a number of school systems and plans over many years, and I see how having a well-thought-out strategic plan in the beginning is essential for future success. While there is no perfect method for educating our children, again, I see the benefits of various systems that were in place, whether my kids were homeschooled, in private school, or in public school. Dr. McDade's strategic plan for thriving futures is an ambitious and well-thought-out plan. Dr. McDade has outlined 4 key commitments in the strategic plan. They are learning and achievement for all, fostering a positive culture and climate, ensuring family and community engagement, while setting a foundation of organizational coherence. All of these are exactly what our students need to thrive. This plan recognizes the unique and diverse community that Prince William County is. She has done her research and has listened to her school board members who represent all of us here in Prince William County. All of the board members have sought to engage business communities to partner with them to help the student and their entire family unit succeed. All of us and all of these board members represented here want students eager to learn and actively engaged in their success. That is part of fostering a positive climate. Lisa Zargapur ran on retaining and recruiting high-quality teachers that both meet the needs of and reflect the diversity of our students. This is essential to working for organizational coherence across the county, regardless of where you live in the county. She, like so many of the board members here, including Mr. Wilk, Ms. Williams, Ms. Wall, and others who still have students still in public school, see parents as partners as a key component to our students' success. Dr. McDade also agrees and has made that one of her top priorities in ensuring family and community engagement. I encourage everyone to read this plan as it incorporates the data, the research, and strategies that have been shown to help students from a plethora of backgrounds and varying abilities to achieve their individual highest potential. Thank you.
Ms. Riley O'Casey.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Riley O'Casey, and I'm an 8th grade civics teacher. July 2021, Simone Biles said, "I say put mental health first. If you don't, you're not going to enjoy your sport, and you're not going to succeed as much as you want to." I anticipate significant plans to help our students in the 2025 strategic plan. Page 7, core values, well-being. We take responsibility for the well-being of students' physical and mental health. Page 10, our commitments, number 2. Positive climate and culture is our promise to provide a welcoming, supportive, and safe environment for teaching and learning. I worry, though, when I continue to see accelerated learning, high-dosage tutoring. We know our children struggled at home last year, and there has been a significant loss of learning as a result of virtual learning. Accelerated learning and high-dosage tutoring is not the only way to help our children. We must also focus on their mental health. They need to reconnect with their peers. They need to take a break from social media. Well, actually, all technology. They need to be active. They need to be able to talk openly with the adults they trust. And for many, those trusted adults are educators. They need to know it's okay to not be okay. I'm optimistic there is a plan to hire more mental health professionals. Our counselors, our social workers, our school psychologists are working miracles, but they need help. Our students need help. Is academics more important than mental health? What are the priorities? We will not catch them up this year, nor next year. This will take time and patience. Our students must understand it's okay to catch up at their pace, not the school divisions. And if our students are not okay, the adults are not okay. When the adults are engaged, thriving, safe, and well-respected, their well-being contributes to the well-being of their students. Please do not forget about your employees. Thank you.
Palmer Denny.
Good evening, members of the school board and Dr. McDade. My name is Palmer Denny and I attend Colgan High School. I'm here tonight to share with you an experience I had in school as it relates to Section 2.2 of the 2025 Vision Plan. I conducted a study regarding tolerance of those with opposing views. The goal was to measure the tolerance of those with conservative political beliefs. The study reinforced what many of my conservative peers had been thinking. There is a stark intolerance problem. For the week of November 29th to December 3rd, I wore a hat that had written on it, Trump 2024, Take America Back. In the span of 5 days at school, I had a total of 27 negative interactions. 14 of those took place in school, where someone made a nasty comment towards me, and the rest occurred on social media in the form of a post on various Colgan accounts not affiliated with the school, and nasty comments on those posts. I define a negative interaction as any interaction that is in some way attacking me or my expression of beliefs. These comments ranged in severity from a nasty look being shot my way to being told to kill myself and having a death threat made against me. I will read you the 2 worst interactions now. I was walking to the bus and a group of girls came up behind me and said to each other, he's wearing a Trump 2024 hat. They then turned to my face in my back and yelled, Trumpy, kill yourself, while giggling. The worst interaction I had was a death threat, threatening to throw a brick through my window and beat me until I wasn't breathing. I will remind you that was all over my support of the 45th president. This is completely unacceptable that conservative students who openly support former President Trump must go to school and be harassed over it. They, just like everyone else, have their right to free speech as guaranteed by the First Amendment of the Constitution. I don't feel that this board is doing enough to uphold that right. To help fix this, I would like to add political beliefs to the conversation of diversity. When we speak of diversity, it's not just immutable factors. If we are including mutable factors like religion, we also must include personal ideology. Students, primarily conservative students, cannot continue going to school in fear of letting their beliefs be made known to the public and the backlash that may come from it, because it's not the popular opinion. This problem must be dealt with immediately, and there must be zero tolerance for those that engage in this bullying. I also understand that I have the opportunity, in part, to end my study and the related harassment on a daily basis. Though I and other like-minded individuals have this option, we should not have to exercise it in order to curb harassment against us. This board should instead stand up for our right to free speech and put a stop to this. Finally, I would like to thank Ms. Zargarpur for meeting with me to discuss this. It speaks volumes to your character and the care you hold for your constituents. I was directed to address the Student Human Rights Commission for our county. I was also informed of a program called No Place for Hate to curb bullying. Currently, according to the PWCS website, only 26 schools out of 95 are No Place for Hate schools. This number needs to be drastically increased. Thank you.
Kate Olson Flynn.
Good evening, Chairman Lateef, school board members, and Dr. McDade. My name is Dr. Kate Olson Flynn, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight on the strategic plan. I would like to congratulate Dr. McDade and the whole administrative team on a well-researched, comprehensive, and detailed strategic plan. The mission, vision, core values, and graduate profile are guiding principles that will shape how Prince William County Schools help our students to meet 21st century demands and challenges. The 4 commitments and research-driven objectives outline clear expectations with detailed strategies on how to meet and measure the target goals. It is an impressive document and an ambitious plan that I fully support. I just have a few comments that I'd like to share with you. With so much change that our school communities are already dealing with, please be thoughtful, sensitive, and careful that you don't overwhelm our system and teachers with too much, too fast. The commitment to positive climate and culture should be priority number 1 to ensure that we retain the highly qualified staff that we already have so that we can implement and meet the commitment for learning and achievement for all our students. As I've presented and written before in articles and online, human capital in education is our most precious resource. And now more than ever, we need to think about how we can support, retain, and increase our teachers, leaders, and staff for the betterment of our students. And with 3 new curriculum adoptions in the pipeline, there tends to come new and more assessments with them. We must be careful about piling on more assessments to the already too large list of assessments that our children must take in school. Targeted assessments to show growth in skill development or to measure learning are important. However, too many assessments do the opposite. They take away from learning. Time is precious in our schools, and more curricula do not necessarily mean better teaching. We can do this. Thank you, Dr. McDade, for providing us this robust roadmap to success. I look forward to doing my part in helping meet all these goals in the years ahead.
Thank you. Ronna Call.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ronna Call. My address is on file. Thank you for allowing me an opportunity to speak on the strategic plan. Trying to take a deep breath here because I hope that we are all here to work together and partner on this plan rather than, I'll just hold my comments on that. Okay, so I appreciate, Dr. McDade, the way you've approached the plan. As someone who sits on the Superintendent's Advisory Council for Instruction, I had an opportunity to hear you present the plan, and I understand or at least understood from your presentation, where you were coming from on the plan. I appreciate you bringing all your experience from your previous post, as well as the inputs that you've gotten here, as well as the inputs from our board. And there are also, though, many other ways, and I do want to highlight this, many other ways we can provide inputs. For those of us that sit on the Superintendent's Advisory Council for Instruction, which allows one representative from each school, each representative sits on the Principal's Advisory Council, to which anyone can attend and provide input. So my hope is that those that are here to speak and comment also take advantage of these other avenues to add their input to the strategic plan in a constructive manner rather than in a manner that starts to polarize people in this discussion. My hope continues that we all want our children and their education to be first and foremost our priority in an environment that is positive and productive. I don't believe that, as we set an example in polarization, is the kind of example we want to demonstrate to our children. So my hope is that we continue to work together to do that. I don't want to rehash the fact that there are 4 pillars in the plan and everything we all know, but I do want to talk a little bit about, again, let me just make sure I hit all my points here. I appreciate you focusing on what our kids need right now. We all recognize there are learning gaps that need to be addressed. I do want to underscore what Dr. Flynn said as far as assessments and so on. I do think that's important, and I do think it's important for us to work backwards from the educational institutions where we're trying to send these children, either universities or CTE or anything, and see what their needs are and make sure we're in a position to fill them through the plan. I do believe that social and emotional development is critical, especially given the fact that we've gone through a very difficult time that just won't end. I also do want to underscore that you can't manage what you don't measure, so it's important that we do that as well. I appreciate the focus on operational excellence. I think that's critical. It will help us with certain things like recruitment and retention, which is something that plagues every school system and every corporation throughout the country and the world at this point. So my hope is that we continue to work backwards from those needs and focus on that and work in partnership and work together so that we're working for the sake of our kids and not for polarization. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Ms. Rose Quint.
Buenas noches. ¿Cómo están? Let me begin by sharing 2 facts about myself, and then I'll tell you why I'm here. First, I have 2 daughters. The oldest graduated summa cum laude last year after taking 11 AP and dual enrollment classes. She's a freshman at UVA now. The youngest is a sophomore in high school. She's currently taking 6 advanced and AP level classes. The second fun fact about me is that I sit in the PAC committee at my high school, and I recently heard numbers showing how underrepresented Hispanics are in advanced level classes, which I already knew instinctively from my kids' experience. I'm an economist by training, so I wanted to see more data countywide. So I went to the strategic plan, and here's what I found in there. Hispanics are 36% of the county students, and the share is rising. The share of all graduates with an AP or DE credit fell in 2020 for all racial groups, and that's not shocking given the pandemic. But they all bounced back in 2021 for some of these groups. That's not the case for Hispanics. The share of Hispanics in advanced classes has now fallen for 3 years in a row, and it sits at 26%. 26%. In comparison, the share is 35% among Black students, 51% among white students, and 60% among Asian students. So the reason I'm here tonight is twofold. Number one, I want to express my support and my appreciation for the strong emphasis that this new strategic plan puts on improving minority access to advanced rigorous classes. Specifically, I applaud mission statement number 3, which reads, and I quote, "We commit to inclusive practices and equity with an expectation of excellence from every student." I also applaud the concreteness of the goal that I found on page 17, which reads in part, by 2024-25, the participation of minority students in advanced programs will see a 10% increase. The second reason for my being here tonight is to urge you to put teeth behind this goal. I say that because of my experience with my daughters. The system did not really exhibit an expectation of excellence towards them. It didn't push them to push themselves. That expectation and that push came from their 2 educated parents. Instead, they were told they were working too hard and to slow it down. So I urge you tonight to, 1, make people accountable for the achievement of this goal. 2, hire role models for these kids. 3, reach out to those parents. 4, train counselors to spot Hispanic kids who have very good grades but are not in a single advanced class. Next, teach counselors and teachers to say these words to these kids. Sí se puede. Try it. In conclusion, congratulations on a very strong plan, which I very much support. But let's make sure to follow through with it. Hispanics are the largest racial group in this county. The success of this plan is largely tied to their
Thank you, Ms.
success.
Flint.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Melissa Ridge. Melissa Ridge. Okay, next, Monica Bishop.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Monica Bishop. Tonight I am speaking to you as a parent of 2 high school students, a seasoned Prince William County healthcare provider, and a friend of Prince William County school employees to advocate for mental health and academic recovery in Prince William County schools. I recently read the 55-page strategic plan that is both comprehensive and dynamic. I am hopeful but also concerned about certain aspects of the plan. I do appreciate that Dr. McDade wants a nurturing, safe school environment and for our children to graduate with the tools they need to achieve success beyond their time in our school system. Since the start of the pandemic, our children have had to and continue to endure great trauma that will impact them for the rest of their lives. Education and government leaders made educational choices that had a greater negative developmental impact socially, emotionally, physically, and academically on the vast majority of our children than the virus itself has caused. Many of us spoke in this forum last year and warned of the consequences virtual learning would have on students, faculty, and the community. Sadly, we are in the midst of experiencing the consequences of lost learning, lost socialization, and lost opportunities that have clearly changed the trajectory of our children's lives and how our educators are having to teach and respond to these negative impacts. I am thankful to all the educators, support faculty, and Prince William County School leadership for their renewed dedication to create opportunities to recover so our children may academically thrive as well as continue in-person learning for their overall mental and physical well-being. I also want to express my gratitude for the proposed strategic plan that supports our educators and faculty as they continue working in our school buildings and for developing a plan that shows fairness, respect, understanding of expectations, and positive experiences and opportunities for growth to retain our valued faculty. I make it a point to have a balanced view. A universal plan for all processes and procedures to create consistency across the county is good and needed. However, I am advocating for Dr. McDade and the school board to continue to include teachers and parents as partners when developing the plan. I hope this plan will also allow for flexibility and adaptability to meet the needs of the individual schools and students. Schools have site-specific needs for resources and how they are allocated depending on the unique needs of special education students, size of school, classroom size, and socioeconomic differences, to name a few. Also, I do want to address one area of concern. You can't fix the issues virtual learning has caused by adding more virtual days. I believe the time and resources that are going towards the Code Orange Day plan would be better allocated towards the individual needs of students showing the greatest academic and mental health decline. Code Orange Days are not equitable and will not be beneficial to the students who suffered the most from virtual learning. Many students and parents need recovery support immediately. Is there a plan in the short term to address immediate needs versus what you expect to achieve by 2025? Is there a tiered approach where you show what goals you want to accomplish in year 1, 2, and 3 leading up to 2025? And final thoughts on this plan: attitude matters. Change is hard, but often results in positive outcomes. So for the teachers listening, just know you showing up to school every day and providing knowledge and support to our children does make a difference in their lives. For some, you are the only positive light for them in their day. So thank you for showing up so that our children may have a future.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Bishop. Okay. Yes, that's a nice way to end the public hearing. Fine comments. So at this point, there being no other citizens indicating they wish to speak on this subject, I declare the public hearing closed. Dr. McDade will be presenting the proposed strategic plan during superintendent's time later this evening. And, it's available online, and there's a process by which you can comment on it online, and we'll be voting on it in the first week of February. Okay, so moving on, we have 2 agenda items for recognition from the Brentsville District and member Adele Jackson. Our first one, Ms. Jackson, please.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. First, I'd like to take the time to congratulate Brentsville District High School. Brentsville High School earned the Field of the Year Award for the Sports Turf Managers Association, STMA, for their work maintaining their school's honored Lambert Field. This award is the industry's highest honor and spotlights programs who excel in providing quality and safe playing surfaces. Congratulations to the Turf Grass Management Program at Brentsville High School on your accomplishment. The turf program falls under the agricultural program at Brentsville High School, part of our PWCS specialty program. This nationally recognized program includes a 4-year program of study, horticultural sciences, landscaping 1, landscaping 2, and turf grass establishment and maintenance. This program started in 2016, and since then has become nationally recognized. Students who attend here not only support other fields in the county, but go on to attend college-level turf programs. The turf program sponsor is here, I think, today, who's planning on coming. Hi, Mr. Miller. Would you like to come to the podium and speak to a few words?
How are you doing tonight? I didn't really have anything prepared, but I want to thank each and every one of you for the opportunity to, again, teach what I'm passionate about with turf grass management and seeing our kids take on those programs in college, going into the industry right away. The support from you guys is beyond anything I could ever imagine. Like Mrs. Jackson said, the program started in 2016 where we started with around 70 students. We're now more than 200. And the kids have done so much work from around the county, different things with painting fields, maintenance, field renovations, different things where our classroom is extended into our community. And being able to do that, and again, time and time again, earning a national recognition among the highest in the land, which is truly grateful. We're actually heading down to Savannah at the end of next week to accept the award for the program, and it's going to be a phenomenal experience for our students. And again, I can't thank you enough for everything you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller, for taking time out of your busy schedule. And congratulations to you, your students, and your school. This prestigious award is the industry's highest honor and is awarded to recognize leaders who manage sporting playing surfaces, as we said, professional collegiate schools and recreational levels. I know that one of your goals, I went through online and read your syllabus, was to promote creativity and create a passion for a career that students can enjoy and feel connected to. And I would say that this program, along with building a legacy, has done this. So thank you again so much, and congratulations. I'd also like to take a moment and recognize Mr. Sean Murphy, a former senior at Unity Reed High School. Sean recently received the prestigious Butkus Award as the best linebacker in the nation. He's the only Prince William County School student to ever receive this award. The committee selects the winners for the Butkus Award that focuses on qualities that define the Butkus career: toughness on-field leadership, competitiveness, football character, and linebacking skills. In order to excel as a linebacker, one must be a leader, a strategic thinker, and a team player. As I was learning more about linebackers, he played for his team and his future, and I just find that so impressive. And this award, it was great learning more about this award. It was wonderful to meet Mr. Murphy the other day at the United basketball game at Unity Reed. During his senior season, Mr. Murphy had 113 tackles, 20 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, graduating with the 314.5 career tackles. I also congratulate him for signing to play for Alabama. I know your coach, who I believe is here, Coach Carol Walker, Dr. Nichols, fellow students, and of course our community are very proud. Mr. Coach Walker, would you like to say a few words? Thank you again for coming tonight.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all the board members and Dr. McDade. We really appreciate this, and I talked to Sean last night, and he's very excited that you guys recognize him tonight, and he's very proud of the school system, how that Prince William County allowed him to graduate early, and right now he's attending Alabama University. So he's a very appreciative young man, and he's very special, and he wants to, thank Unity Reed's faculty, the staff members there, and the guidance counselors that put in hard work for him, and we really thank our school system as being one of the great school systems that I work at myself, and we really appreciate everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Walker. It's a testament to your leadership. Thank you so much for coming. Mr. Murphy is an example of the Prince William County Schools' excellence, and I know your coach, Walker, Dr. Nichols, and fellow students on the community, as I said, are very proud. Congratulations on this impressive award, and I wish him the best in his future endeavors. Thank you again for coming tonight. Thanks.
All right, wonderful, Ms. Jackson. Thank you so much. At this point, I would like to call this meeting of the Prince William County School Board to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Charlotte Flynn, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Indivisible, with liberty.
Hey, guys, I got somewhere. Make sure everyone check your mics. Okay. Next, we'll move on to the annual organizational meeting. This item is on for action. A motion, Ms. Zargarpur.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the Prince William County School Board approve the annual organizational meeting agenda as recommended. Nomination for vice chairman, clerk appointment, deputy clerk appointment, corporate surety bond for the clerk and deputy clerk, times, dates, and locations of the school board meetings for 2022, superintendent's designee to attend school board meetings, and membership in professional organizations and appointment of representatives.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Williams?
I second.
Any discussion? Okay, please vote. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jessie votes yes. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
The vote is 8 yes, motion passed.
Okay, next we're moving on to the nomination for vice chairman. A motion's in order. Ms.
Mr. Chairman.
Zargarpur.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Prince William County School Board elect Mrs. Adele Jackson of the Brentsville District as vice chair for 2022.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Williams.
I gladly second.
Any discussion? Excellent. Please vote. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Definitely yes.
Ms. Jessie votes yes. Ms. Ralston?
Yes.
And Ms. Ralston votes yes.
And the vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Okay, congratulations, Ms. Jackson, our new vice chair for the 2022. All right, welcome. Yeah, I guess so, right? So, motion. Now we're moving on to the clerk appointment. A motion is in order to appoint the school board clerk.
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Jackson. Okay, we'll go to Ms. Zargarpur. Well, that's okay. We'll go to Ms. Zargarpur. Ms. Jackson.
Okay, 1303?
1303, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Zargarpur. And, okay, a motion is in order to appoint the school board clerk. I recommend that the Prince William County School Board clerk appoint B. Simpson as clerk as the Prince William County School Board for 2022. The salary for clerk shall be as currently budgeted.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Williams.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Second.
Okay, please vote. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jessie votes yes. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Outstanding. You do not have to clean out your desk, Ms. Simpson. Good work. Fantastic. All right, a motion is in order to appoint the deputy clerk. Ms. Jackson, 1304.
Okay, thank you. A motion is in order. Thank you. You just read that? Okay, I'm
Just read
sorry.
the recommendation, yeah.
Yes, I'm
There
so
you go.
sorry. My recommendation is that the Prince William County School Board appoint Brandolyn Reeves as a deputy clerk at the Prince William County School Board for 2022. The salary for the deputy clerk is currently, shall be currently budgeted.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman.
Mrs. Argapor.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, please vote. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Jessie votes yes. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
And that goes same to you, Ms. Reeves. Congratulations. Moving on, a motion is ordered for the, I don't know how to say this word, surety bond for the clerk and the deputy clerk. Ms. Jackson.
I move that the Prince William County School Board require a corporate surety bond in the amount of $10,000 for the clerk and the deputy clerk to the school board, conditioned upon the faithful performance and discharge of their duties, with the premium for such bonds to be paid by the school board.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Zargarpur?
I second.
Any discussion? Okay, I just have a question for the council. Is this for bail money in case they get in trouble? Okay. Please vote. Miss Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Jessie, Ralston, both vote yes.
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Okay, moving on to the times, dates, locations, school board meetings for 2022. Motion's in order. Ms. Jackson.
I move that the Prince William County School Board, hold on one second, I'm still getting the hang of this.
Establish, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Prince William County School Board establish the location of the regular school board meetings at 14715 Bristow Road, Manassas, Virginia, on the first and the third Wednesdays of the months of January through June and September through December. Closed session meetings shall convene at 6 p.m. and the public meetings shall convene at 7 p.m. Adjustments will be made to the established times and meeting schedule should it be necessary to do so, and the public will be notified as such.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Wall hit it first. Ms. Wall gets a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jessie votes yes. Ms. Ralston votes yes.
And the vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Okay, moving on to the superintendent's designee to attend school board meetings. A motion is in order. Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that Elisa Bontario, Chief of Staff, will be appointed as the interim designee of the division superintendent until the appointment of the deputy superintendent to act as the designee of the division superintendent to attend meetings of the school board in absence or inability of the superintendent to attend through June 2022, excuse me. The deputy superintendent, once appointed, will then become the superintendent's designee for the school board meetings in absence or inability of the superintendent to attend through June 2022.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Williams.
I second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, please vote. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jessie votes yes. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Membership in professional organizations and appointment of representatives. A motion's in order. Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the Prince William County School Board approve the appointments for the organization committees as follows. 1, continue membership in the Virginia School Boards Association for 2022. 2, elect Justin Wilk to serve as a delegate to the Virginia School Boards Association Annual Convention in Williamsburg, Virginia on November 2022. 3, elect Adele Jackson to serve as alternative to the Virginia School Boards Association Annual Convention in Williamsburg, Virginia on November 2022. Appoint Lily Jessie to serve as representative to the Northern Virginia Special Education Regional Board for 2022. Appoint Justin Wilk to serve as an alternative to the Northern Virginia Special Education Regional Board for 2022. Appoint Diane Ralston to serve as representative to the National Allegiance of Black School Educators for 2022. Appoint Lori Williams to serve as alternative to the National Alliance for Black School Educators for 2022. Appoint Baba Latif, ND, to serve as representative to the Prince William County and School Joint Audit Committee for 2022. Appoint Justin Wilk to serve as alternate to the Prince William County Schools Joint Audit Committee for 2022. Appoint Lori Williams to serve as a representative to the Washington Area Boards of Education for 2022. Appoint Lisa Zagapur to serve as alternate to the Washington Area Boards of Education for 2022. Appoint Lily Jesse to serve as a representative on the Head Start Advisory Board. Appoint Adele Jackson and Jennifer Wall to serve as representatives on the Student School Health Advisory Board. 14, appoint Jennifer Wall and Lisa Zagapur to serve as representatives on the Safe Schools Advisory Council. 15, appoint Baba Latif, MD, and Jennifer Wall to serve as representatives to the Prince William County Schools Internal Audit Committee. 16, appoint Lisa Zagapur to serve as an alternate to the Prince William County Schools Internal Audit Committee for 2022.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman,
Ms. Zargarpur?
I second.
Any discussion? Please vote. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jessie votes yes. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
And the vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Approval of the agenda and public meeting agenda is up next. Moving on. Motion's in order. Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the Prince William County School Board approve the public meeting agenda as recommended.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Williams.
A second?
Any discussion? Please vote. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Jessie votes yes. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
And the vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Moving on to the adoption of the consent agenda, the Prince William, a motion's in order. Ms. Jackson.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Prince William County School Board approve the public meeting consent agenda as recommended.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Williams.
A second?
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Ms. Williams.
I would just like to take a second and say thank you and send appreciation for all of our school principals. They do a job that I can only imagine. It's like controlling mini cities, if you ask me, in my opinion. And I think that they, by and large, do an outstanding job. And it's more than an appropriate due for them to receive recognition this during School Principals Week. I also would like to highlight this National School Counseling Week. It's not just our counselors, but our social workers, everyone that's involved in that. I think that especially in these day and times that they are highly under-recognized for the work that they do at all the different levels to which they contribute to our school division. And of course, I am always pleased to see us celebrating months that are dedicated to specific ethnic groups, and upcoming in February is African American History Month. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Mrs. Zargarpur.
Mr. Chairman, am I allowed to second her, what she just said? I agree. I think principals have had a really rough time of it during the pandemic, and I am so grateful for all of the work you have done. I also, again, with the National School Counseling Week, every day should be Counselor Day, too. So I just thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all of the work you've been doing.
Mr. Wilk.
Hi.
Mr.
Dr.
Wilk.
McDade.
I'll go to Mr. Wilk, and then I'll go to Ms. Jessie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to echo the same things, sentiments that were said. Outstanding principals in the Potomac District. And also, again, want to recognize our counselors. I do want to say this board, under this leadership, has, I think, done a tremendous amount of work to add school counselors into all levels of our buildings. And I think it's a commitment we continually want to look at every year with the budget, because we recognize, we want to have caseloads so that our counselors are able to devote as much time as possible to their students. And so, working with Navians for 3 years and directly with counselors all over the country, which I know you and I have a thing for Navians, it's a great program, but knowing directly what counselors do, and that's just one aspect, that's just the college career readiness component of it, and that's a full-time job. So again, just want a major recognition to our school counselors and all the work that they've done. Thank you.
Ms. Jessie.
I want to say to the principals, wow, I just cannot even imagine what it must be like to deal with the pandemic and snow removal. I just cannot even fathom what it's like. I was a principal and I know how difficult it was, but I've never had to deal with a pandemic and snow. And I wanted to say to the staff that work with you, I wanted to also express my gratitude to them, to the custodians in the buildings who lift that snow and clear the sidewalks, all the people who work, the people who came in and answered the phone. You know, I always give this little cup to people, so I'm at home so I can just bring up my cup, and I want to say this cup of gratitude is to you, to all of you, including the counselors who make a difference. And I know this is going to be a very difficult year. And I also want to say, I know it's not the superintendent's, she's not on that list, but the superintendent and your staff, I know how hard you work, and I really appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you.
Ms. Wall?
I would be remiss if I didn't add a couple of words here. One of the things that I've enjoyed so much is getting to know the principals of each of the 12 schools in the Gainesville district, hearing of their concerns. I try to listen and just ask, what do you need? What can we do to help you? And I really appreciate the leadership that principals display. I know that the instructional leader of the building is one of the very most important positions, and they carry a very heavy responsibility. So I want to thank them for being willing to carry that heavy responsibility and that heavy burden. Also, many great interactions with counselors over the years. I know they perform a very essential function for our students, directly impacting our students, especially when they encourage students to do what was shared with us tonight, try it, just try. When they push students to reach outside their comfort zones. So I appreciate their hard work, their listening ear, their guidance. They provide a very important behind-the-scenes function for our students. And thank you. Proud to represent or honor them in these weeks.
Okay. Please vote. Did we do that already? No. Please vote. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote? Yes. Did you vote yes? I think she's on mute, but she got her hand up. I'll take that as a yes. Ms. Ralston, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ralston votes yes.
The vote is 8 yes, unanimous, motion passed.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Jessie, and I echo the comments of the board members for our principals and our entire staff and counseling staff. Outstanding work. Moving on to next to our, I think we're on to our student representative, citizen comment time, but there are, the clerk is telling me we have no one who signed up for either agenda or non-agenda items? Well, we have people who had signed up, but they all dropped off today. Okay, so we had a lot of folks drop off the list. We're moving on next to student representatives, the student representative. Tonight we have Charlotte Flynn, senior at the Great Woodbridge Senior High School, joins us on this day and this evening.
1701.
I don't have a 1701.
Okay.
All right, so I got Miss Charlotte Flynn, again, our wonderful senior for the wonderful Woodbridge Senior High School, who's going to be speaking tonight about what our students are thinking. Ms. Flynn, take it away.
Thank you. Good evening, school board members in Prince William County. I hope everyone enjoyed their winter break. I'm thankful for the holidays, and I hope everyone was able to rest and enjoy themselves. Tonight, I want to speak about many important concerns related to student and teacher mental health. The strategic plan covers a lot of social and emotional issues within schools, with the objective to create a positive climate and culture. The expansion of social emotional learning, SEL, will be implemented into the curriculum framework and provide professional development for teachers. Under this plan, staff well-being initiatives will be in place, students will have designated support corps counselors to decrease absences, and training for school-based mental health professionals to create student support teams will identify at-risk students and design individual interventions. With these new goals and initiatives to create a more positive school environment, it's also important to consider the effects of gun violence that have recently been prevalent in Prince William County. According to the Sandy Hook Promise Foundation, 8 children die every day from gun violence in America. Guns are the leading cause of death in teens and children and consequently have a large influence on the mental state of students in schools. Lockdowns and warnings increase stress, depression, and anxiety and can even cause sleep problems and personality changes, according to the Educational Fund to Stop Gun Violence. Furthermore, adverse childhood experiences, which include exposure to violence or toxic stress from fear of violence, negatively impact psychological engagement and increase the chance of developing a mental health condition, according to Mental Health America, an organization that's committed to anti-racism in public health. The recent threats in Prince William schools have weighed heavily on our students. The protocol to ensure the protection of students and staff is well developed. However, solutions to prevent these attacks and preserve mental stability need to be implemented within the positive climate and culture section of the Prince William Strategic Plan. According to Allison Paolini, a PhD professor of counselor education, solutions such as increased counseling interventions and partnering with local mental health agencies to develop protocols and assess mental health needs should be considered. These solutions will reduce mental health issues that both come from and incite gun violence. Students can also help prevent violence in schools. The Sandy Hook Foundation reports that 93% of the time, the shooter planned the attack in advance, and in 4 out of 5 shootings, one other person had knowledge of the plan but failed to report it. It is critical to use the new "If you see something, say something" initiative that has been implemented to protect your peers and yourself and prevent an incident from occurring. I want to use the remainder of my time to shout out teachers for your hard work and tenacity during these unprecedented times. Thank you for continuing to help our students and enforce COVID guidelines. Students, as always, please wear your masks in school. With the sudden rise in cases and the spread of Omicron, it is important to keep everyone as safe as possible. Thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate the chance to speak and share my thoughts as a representative of Prince William students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Flynn. Next, we'll move on to Dr. McDade and Superintendent's time, and as part of her time, she'll also be presenting the draft strategic plan. Dr. McDade.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. Good evening and Happy New Year. I appreciate your cooperation, understanding, and support last week as we dealt with the challenges related to inclement weather. I believe strongly that our students are best served in person at school to the greatest extent possible. To that end, it was great to welcome all students back Monday morning. In the event of additional inclement weather events, we will be better prepared moving forward to utilize the various inclement weather codes for both significant and minimal weather events. I would like to echo the sentiments of our school board in recognizing Brentsville District High School's Donald Lambert Field and Unity Reed High School senior Sean Murphy. During my first 100 days, I had the pleasure of visiting Brentsville District High School and meeting Drew Miller, agriculture teacher and turf grass program coordinator, and several of his students. I also had the opportunity to see the Donald Lambert Field. I was very impressed. And I'm not surprised that the field and our turf grass program have earned so many awards. Congratulations to Principal Dr. Kat Meintz, Mr. Miller, and our students participating in the turf grass program. I also offer my congratulations to Sean Murphy, who has earned the prestigious Butkus Award as the best high school linebacker in the nation. We are proud of you, Sean, as well as the Unity Reed High School head football coach, Coach Walker. Sean, we know you will continue to positively represent Prince William County Public Schools well into the future. Congratulations to our new school board vice chairwoman, Adele Jackson. I look forward to working with you. I want to thank Ms. Zargapur for all of her support and leadership as vice chairwoman this year. Your support as I transitioned into the role of superintendent has been invaluable. Earlier tonight, the school board approved a resolution recognizing Virginia School Principals Week this week. I want to take a moment to express my appreciation for the tireless leadership of our school principals, especially during a global pandemic. There is no question that now is the most difficult time to be a school principal. I sincerely appreciate our principals' efforts to ensure the safety of their students and staff, providing the most positive learning environment possible. And I also want to thank, as mentioned earlier by our school board members, and appreciate our school counselors, especially during these challenging times where they are really, truly needed in our schools every day. Thank you for your dedication to our students and their families, our employees, and our communities. I want to assure everyone that the division is closely monitoring developments on the Omicron variant. The CDC, Center for Disease Control, recently released new guidance regarding quarantine periods, and we continue to follow the data and the science as it evolves. PWCS is working with the Prince William Health District and Virginia Department of Health to evaluate the updated guidance from the CDC. To effectively plan for thoughtful implementation of changes aligned to the new CDC guidance, our current health protocols have remained in place. However, we are diligently reviewing guidance from the Health District and will be prepared by late next week to outline how PWCS will implement the new CDC quarantine guidance moving forward. I appreciate your cooperation, support, and patience as we work together to continue to deliver critical education and services to our students as safely as possible. I also want to mention that we are in the process of concluding updates to our Memorandum of Understanding with the Prince William County Police Department regarding our school resource officers. The changes will help clarify the role of SROs in our schools and include new training and screening requirements, all with the aim of strengthening student and staff safety. I would like to thank our Police Chief, Peter Newsham, as well as everyone who provided feedback on the MOU through a survey sent to all families in November and open through December. We will share the agreement with our community once it is finalized in the coming weeks. As many of you are aware, I concluded my first 100 work days on December 1st. I had the pleasure of visiting all 100 schools and centers, including our students attending our governor's school and our students attending Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology in Fairfax. I appreciate the warm welcome I have received across the school division, and I enjoyed talking to our administrators, teachers, support staff, students, and parents. The pride in Prince William County Public Schools is evident. I also appreciate the thoughtful feedback for the improvement of our schools in the future. Following these remarks, I will be presenting our new 4-year strategic plan. We have used much of the feedback from these visits to shape many of the goals included in the plan. PWCS has ensured stakeholder involvement throughout the development of the strategic plan. The Superintendent's Advisory Council on Instruction, which consists of parent representatives from each school, provided early input in November 2019 as well as in November 2021. 3,887 parents, 499 staff members, 488 community members, 130 students, and 18 business partners provided input through the survey conducted in December 2019. A panel of representatives from higher education and businesses shared their priorities, and those were incorporated into the development of the plan. Additionally, I met personally with local faith leaders and local labor union leaders. In March 2020, the Superintendent's Advisory Council on Equity also provided input. In January through February 2021, board members had the opportunity to provide individual feedback on the commitments and identify priorities for goals. Additionally, upon my arrival in July 2021, I met with each school board member individually to document expectations and input for the strategic plan. Beginning the summer of 2021, 4 working groups were identified to lead the work of each of the strategic plan commitments. These teams collaboratively developed the goals and strategies. These teams involve members from the superintendent's cabinet and leadership team, as well as school representatives, including administrators, teachers, and counselors. On December 17th, I sent a letter to all families and staff, as well as community members, sharing the draft strategic plan. We have a dedicated website on the strategic plan, which can be found at pwcs.edu. This is a 4-year dynamic plan that will continue to evolve. And this evening, I look forward to providing an overview of Vision 2025, Launching Thriving Futures. Mr. Chairman, this concludes the superintendent's report. I will now move to the podium to further my remarks on the strategic plan.
Thank you, Dr. McDade.
Good evening, and thank you so much for this opportunity to launch a bold and ambitious vision for Prince William County Public Schools, Vision 2025, Launching Thriving Futures. I am excited to present our mission, key commitments, strategies, and lofty goals for the future of Prince William County Public Schools. Tonight, I have joining me, and I would ask that you each stand as I introduce you, Rita Goss, Associate Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, who led the working group for commitment number 1, Learning and Achievement for All. Denise Hebner, our Associate Superintendent of Special Education and Student Services, is the team lead for commitment number 2, Positive Climate and Culture. Catherine Porter Lucas, Associate Superintendent for Middle Schools, led commitment 3, Family and Community Engagement. And Matt Guilfoyle, Chief Information Officer, serves as the lead for Commitment 4, Organizational Coherence. Tonight's presentation is an overview of the division strategic plan, and the comprehensive strategic plan document has been posted to the PWCS website for public comment and has been available since December 17th and is continued to be open. The PWCS mission and vision captures the spirit of our collective hopes and desires for all students. The vision of Prince William County Public Schools is for every student to graduate on time with the knowledge, skills, and habits of mind to create a thriving future for themselves and their communities. In order to bring this vision to fruition, we must be mission-driven in service to our students and families as trusted partners, ensuring our students are being prepared to be competitive in a global society, and commit to inclusive practices, equity, and excellence for every student and staff member every day. Here are a few fast facts about Prince William County Public Schools. We are the second largest school division in the state of Virginia, 34th largest in the nation. We are the most diverse county in the state of Virginia and the 10th most diverse county in the nation. Currently, our minority population makes up about 72% of our student demographic. Nearly 50% of our students are identified as economically disadvantaged, and we have a 25% EL student population, and about 13% of our students are identified students with disabilities. Our graduation rate is 92.8%, and our last year's senior class earned $64 million in scholarships. When we think about the diversity of our school division and the needs of our students, one of our biggest challenges is funding. Currently, PWCS has one of the lowest costs per pupil in the DC region, coming in only second from the bottom at $12,641 per pupil. This is a $3,000 difference per pupil in comparison to Loudoun, and a whopping $7,000 per pupil in comparison to Arlington. The lack of parity in funding makes it challenging to support the needs of all students, which is one of the reasons we need everyone assuming shared ownership of the success of our young people in Prince William County. And we've identified a funding agenda for our business community to support the strategic plan, which I will provide more information on later in the presentation. We have 6 identified core values that will undergird our strategic initiatives, goals, commitments, and practices in our 4-year vision. These core values include the ideals of equity, inclusivity, innovation, integrity, resiliency, and well-being. In order to realize our vision of students graduating with the ability to create a thriving future for themselves and their community, It was important to define the characteristics that are necessary to realize this vision, which led us to the development of the profile of a graduate. Students who matriculate through PWCS from pre-K to 12th grade should embody the ideals of critical thinking, to be not only consumers of knowledge, but also producers of knowledge. They should be digital citizens with the ability to utilize advances in technology for the betterment of our world. We want our students to be innovators and visionaries who think critically to solve world problems. Global collaborators who not only value different perspectives, but see diversity as a superpower. And lastly, resilient. We want our students to adapt in the face of adversity. We believe that students who possess these characteristics will be well positioned for success when they leave Prince William County Public Schools, and it is our job to instill these ideals in our students throughout their educational journey. Our four-year strategic plan is grounded in 4 key commitments: learning and achievement for all, positive climate and culture, family and community engagement, and organizational coherence. I will delve into each of these commitments and share highlights of the long-term goals and key strategies. Our first commitment is learning and achievement for all. In Prince William County Public Schools, we will prioritize access to excellence and equity in educational opportunities, ensuring that every student is met with high expectations and has a fair shot to succeed. To accomplish this, our educators and leaders must be prepared to not only support, but also challenge all students to meet their full potential. Additionally, our job goes well beyond handing off the diploma on the stage at graduation. We are responsible for our students' post-secondary success and ensuring that every student has a concrete post-secondary plan in their back pocket before they graduate PWCS in order to secure their future. For each of our commitments, we have identified both long-term and short-term goals. Tonight, I will be highlighting some of our long-term goals. For learning and achievement for all, our goals include a 95% graduation rate. We want 60% or more of our students graduating with 1 or more early college or career credentials, which would include college credit for advanced placement coursework, international baccalaureate courses, dual enrollment, Cambridge, industry certification for career and technical education, and as well as recognizing JROTC for students who may be planning to enlist in the military. We have a goal to reduce dropout rates by 10% for targeted populations. As shared earlier with the school board and the public in the State of the Schools report, our students with disabilities and English learners have the highest dropout rates, and we want to reduce this significantly over the next 4 years. We are also expecting to double down on workforce development and career experiences. We've set a goal of 3,500 rising juniors and seniors having summer employment opportunities over the next 4 years, and a minimum of 500 students graduating with a formal business apprenticeship or internship by 2025. I personally had the opportunity in my first 100 days to sit down with many members of our business community, such as, for example, Lockheed Martin, Micron, Amazon Web Services, Water Service Authority, just to name a few, and even our local trade unions, including IBEW Local 26, who also provided valuable feedback that you will see incorporated in the strategic plan. And they've also committed to supporting this goal for workforce development over the course of the next 4 years. Some of the strategies we will employ to meet these goals include bolstering the integrity of the instructional core, which speaks to what happens in the classroom every day, the quality of teaching practice, level of student engagement in their own learning, and academically challenging content. We will expand access to gifted, AP, IB, Cambridge, and dual enrollment. As you will recall, we presented the current state of gifted programs within our school division, and as such, we've set goals based on that current state to expand access. We will offer civic opportunities for students in post-secondary advising, planning, and counseling to support every student having a concrete post-secondary plan upon graduation. Our second commitment, positive climate and culture in our schools and division, ensures all students are educated in environments that are inclusive, safe, and supportive, not just physically, but also socially, emotionally, and mentally. We want to ensure that all students and staff are empowered and have a sense of belonging. Our facilities must be welcoming, safe, and sustainable, as we have a responsibility to be good stewards of our environmental resources. What you will find in our strategic plan is that many of our advisory councils have made recommendations that have been included in the plan, one of them being the Council on Sustainability, as you heard from our capital improvement plan presentation earlier. You saw their recommendations, and they have been codified within the strategic plan, including establishing long-term goals. Goals for positive climate and culture include 90% of our students reporting satisfaction with their school climate based on the annual student survey, increasing the diversity of our staff by 5%. Over the next 4 years, we plan to hire 350 international teachers, have 75 teaching assistants complete the coursework to become certified special education teachers, which we desperately need. And by 2025, we will have our first net zero school and a full suite of environmental literacy curriculum grades K through 12, which was also a recommendation from our Council on Sustainability. A few of the strategies for achieving positive climate and culture goals include implementing trauma-informed practices through our PWCS HEALS initiative, expanding our existing partnerships with over 50 colleges and universities to grow a diverse pipeline of teachers and leaders, and launching You Belong Here, which is an initiative to promote diversity, inclusion, and equity. Our third commitment is family and community engagement. We will prioritize engaging our families as authentic partners in education, improving two-way communication, and removing communication barriers to build trusting relationships. And we want to strengthen our partnerships with local businesses and trade unions and community agencies to better support our students' career aspirations. A few goal highlights for family and community engagement objectives include 90% of our families reporting they are engaged with their school community. We want at least one parent liaison for every school to support family engagement in the educational process. And our goal is to have every school in the division matched with a formal business or community agency partnership to advance their school improvement plans. Strategies for this commitment include removing barriers to two-way communication by expanding translation services. We will also be expanding the roles and responsibilities of school advisory councils, which you heard one of the speakers tonight mention, so that every school has a high-functioning advisory council made up of families and community members who contribute to the decision-making process. Spark, which is our PWCS foundation arm, has released an aggressive funding agenda to advance the work of the 4-year vision for PWCS. And we are asking our local businesses and community-based organizations for their support in reaching our collective goals. As a school division, we cannot do this work alone, and we need the entire ecosystem to have shared responsibility for investing in the future of this county. Our fourth and final key commitment is organizational coherence. Now, usually when I say organizational coherence, most people wonder, what does that mean in education, as it is typical nomenclature used in the business community. However, PWCS is a business, and our business is education. Organizational coherence seeks to address how we create the systems and structures for continuous improvement, facilitate collaboration across the school division in the spirit of customer service, and articulate a shared vision for operating as a unified school system, as opposed to a system of schools with every individual school doing their own thing. Success comes when all schools and the division share a vision for success and are aligned to the same core commitments and goals, with everyone working towards the same North Star. And our 4-year strategic plan seeks to do just that, bring about the necessary coherence for long-term student success. Goals for this commitment include developing a funding formula that funds our schools not just for equity, but also for adequacy, which means making sure no matter how many students are enrolled in a school, whether it's a small school or a large school, they have the funding needed to provide high-quality educational program that meets the needs of every single learner. We will complete 8 school renovations, as you heard in the capital improvement plan presentation, between fiscal year 23 and 26, and remain current with technological advances as it relates to devices and tools in 100% of our schools. Strategies for this commitment include initiating a budget task force to improve our budget process, developing a digital equity investment plan, and establishing division-wide standards and operational requirements for site-based management, to name a few. A major strategy is ensuring that our priorities are always driving our investments. We have set forth ambitious goals and research-based strategies for the future success of Prince William County Public Schools. PWCS serves as a foundation for our county. We will continue to prepare students to be the citizens and leaders of tomorrow who will create thriving futures for themselves and their communities. As stated earlier, the full comprehensive plan is posted to our website and will remain open until February 2nd for parents and community to learn more and provide feedback. I want to thank all of our county stakeholders who contributed to the development of the strategic plan and extend deep gratitude to Dr. Jennifer Casada, our Director of Research Accountability and Strategic Planning, who leads the division's strategic planning efforts, as well as my team leads, who I introduced earlier, who led the working group for each of the commitments, and all of over 4,000 stakeholders that contributed to the development of this plan. I also want to thank each and every board member for your commitment, not to just to the strategic plan, but holding us all accountable for excellence for every single student and all of your collaboration in the development of this strategic plan. At this time, I want to open it up for questions and just say to each and every one of you that your collaboration and effort has made all the difference, and together we truly do achieve more. If you have any questions, I'm going to invite both myself and my team leads to answer questions related to each of the core commitments.
Wonderful, Dr. McDade. That was fantastic. Thank you. At this point, I'll open the floor for questions for the superintendent and her staff. Anybody want to jump at that first? Okay. I'll just make some comments, and maybe we'll get the ball rolling with some questions here in a bit. First off, thank you so much. I think, as one of the speakers said earlier, this is very concrete. It's a plan that I think it really does contain the vision of the entire community. You know, running for office, you get a chance to talk to so many different people, representing folks for now 4 years, and going through what we just went through. The engagement with the public has been incredibly high, and I think much of what you talk to when you talk to members of the community, whether there are volunteers in the school, our parents, our teachers, our staff, much of what I feel like they desire is located somewhere here in this document. And I think it's really a testament to the listening you all have done, the listening that I think the board has done, and I think, you know, like I said, this is up for everyone to take a look at. Please weigh in. This is something we'll vote on and approve in the February meeting. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
May I, Dr. McTeague?
Oh, okay.
Dr.
And then,
Dr. Lateef?
Sure. Ms. Jessie.
Hi. I just want to say that I've heard Dr. McDade present this plan 2 or 3 times, and each time I'm amazed at her ability to just smoothly present it. I've been here for a long time. I've never seen a superintendent actually present the plan herself or himself, and so invested. The parts of the plan that I really like are, of course, they're SMART goals. They're goals that are measurable, And I'm pleased to see that. I also wanted to highlight the fact that there was involvement from large groups of people who were involved. And every time I look at this plan, I see something different. Tonight, for the first time, I saw teacher assistants being trained. And I was a Title I supervisor, and some of the teacher assistants I inherited were as bright, and I think it's one of those areas that we can grow in. I'm pleased to see that. And the post-secondary element, where we're looking at just not looking at the graduation rates, but we're looking at what happens when our kids go on to college, because there are discrepancies there. I just want to thank you for putting this plan together. When I met with the group, I talked about Dr. McDade, and I said something to her. Someone earlier talked about early childhood education. It's in her plan. And what I talked about, and I know Diane is at Garfield, and we're in these high schools, and we see these high schoolers who are not literate. And, we read to learn at K3, and after 4th or 5th grade, I'd like for her to spend some time with that. But I'm just very impressed. And as I said in the group, the word excitement and strategic plan has never been used, but I've heard several board members say they were excited about this plan. And I just want to thank you for coming into this county. And I think we're pleased with our selection. I think we did the right things, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate the work that you've done. The fact that you visited 100 schools, I don't know how you do it. But anyway, thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you, Ms. Jessie.
Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Chairman Lateef. Thank you, Dr. McDade, and to your staff for presenting this draft strategic plan for the board's and really public review. I appreciate the approach that you have undertaken with the strategic plan. Not only is it very comprehensive, very well thought out, there's accountability factored into the plan. It deals with a three-dimensional view of our school division and encompasses our community and business partners as well. I also appreciate how long that this plan is available for public comment before the board makes our final decision for approval. I can't state enough, the opportunity for public input. It was made in the development of the plan. It's been out since December 15th on our website. It's been publicly presented and sometimes thoroughly, sometimes at high speed by yourself to various groups and stakeholders. It is a refreshing change of pace for the school division under your leadership, and transparency, I think, is paramount for what you have done in presenting information to us and to the public. And I really appreciate that. I know that we will see changes based on the comments that were received, which I think we have not really acknowledged thus far. I don't want the public to think that it's final when it says draft on it, because I think that gets sometimes impressions get twisted around. We present things before the board, and the public feels like, well, that's it, it's presented. We don't have time to weigh in. And I just want to remind the public that there's always time to weigh in until the vote is taken. And there's many different ways to do so. I know I've made my comments to you directly and to your staff. So I just appreciate the time that you have taken to actively listen, not just listen, but actively listen, to present a plan like this to us in under 6 months that incorporates all aspects of what you've heard in the boardroom through your interactions in the community, with your staff, with board members. I think is absolutely fantastic and what we should expect of a superintendent. So I just want to say thank you, to all of your staff and everyone who played a role, this board included, in this strategic plan, and really thank you for listening. That's much appreciated.
Thank you. I do want to ask Dr. Casada to just share our collection of comments and what we're going to do with that moving forward.
Good evening, Dr. Lateef, Vice Chairwoman Jackson, school board members. So as Ms. Williams just articulated, And as Dr. McDade did, the strategic plan has been available since December 17th. And right there on the website where the plan is available, there's a link where you can provide feedback and comments. It takes the public right to a survey form. In terms of what's been received, one of the themes that we're hearing is some additional context and clarification around some of the terms in the plan. And so there's already a glossary at the end of the plan, but it's going to be expanded to include some other terms that people have identified through the feedback to make sure that the public has access to the understanding of the language that's being used in the plan. And as Ms. Williams also indicated, along the way, feedback from advisory councils and principals was shaping the iteration of the draft all the way up to and including the day that it was posted. And feedback will continue to be collected through that feedback form up to the day of your vote on February 2nd, and will be summarized, and any changes continue to be made. Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Zargarpur.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Lateef. One of our speakers tonight mentioned something that I thought was very compelling about, we have a long-range plan. Could you talk a little bit about maybe how we have this long-range plan, and she mentioned having a shorter-term plan and things like that, how we're going to check in. I know we're supposed to receive updates on where we are in the strategic plan. I know you and I have talked about tying it to the budget and all that good stuff. So could you give a little insight on some of that? Because her comments, I think, were really right on target, and I think it's important to know that in a strategic plan should not be, okay, we made the document, let's put it away. It really is something that is living, and I just want to hear a little bit about how you envision that.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And one of the comments that I made earlier is that the plan is dynamic and not static, and so it will continue to have will continue to iterate and evolve. But I really appreciate that question, because what we have been trying to do as a team is to incorporate continuous improvement both at the central office in terms of our instructional teams and operational teams and how they support schools, and linking that to the school improvement plans and what schools identify as their need. Ideally, the 4-year vision charts forth the path for how we get to these long-term goals. Year over year, every school, as well as every office within central office that supports schools, will have an annual strategic plan that works backwards from our long-term goals, that really we monitor how we're on track towards reaching the goals. So for example, if we say that we want to expand access to gifted AP/IB, what you'll see from the gifted office in the Office of Teaching and Learning is every year an annual strategic plan that outlines the milestones, the actions that we're going to take, the milestones we plan to reach towards impact. And on an annual basis, we'll be able to provide you with progress to say either we're on track towards meeting whatever our 4-year goal is, or we're off track and if we have to do course corrections, which is why the document is dynamic, because course corrections will be necessary. Part of the research-based strategy for continuous improvement is to identify problems of practice, which we use data to do that with the strategic plan. Determine how we're going to address that problem of practice through an action plan. So where you see the strategic initiatives outlined, that's a part of our action plan. Implement with fidelity, and then evaluate continuously along the way to determine if what we said we were going to do is yielding the impact that we're looking for. And if it's not, then identifying that there's a need to make a course correction along the way, which is why it's important for the document to be dynamic. So you will get regular updates. The public will get regular updates. Typically, it's the beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year annual update on the strategic plan to say what's green, red, or yellow. Green meaning it's on track towards meeting the 4-year goal or the annual goal, that implementation goal that leads to the big impact goal. Or yellow, we're behind schedule, or red, we have to do a course correction, it's not working. So that's what you should expect. But we will be implementing at the central office level, just like schools have an annual continuous improvement plan. Our offices that are responsible for supporting these strategic initiatives in schools will also have an annual plan that works backwards from the long-term 4-year goal.
Oh man, I'm geeking out on this. Thank you. One other thing I would like parents to understand is locally at your own child's school, there are the parent advisory councils, and your principal is going to, they talk about these things in those council meetings, and I suspect in probably some other places too. So this is an opportunity to kind of drill down at your own child's school. You should be hearing this stuff, I would imagine.
Yes, and we will be working with principals. We've already started diving into the strategic plan with building leaders as well. The expectation will be that as continuous improvement plans at the local school are developed, that they will be aligning to the division plan and sharing this information locally with the school advisory council. And as you'll note, in the strategic plan, we did identify the school advisory council as one of our goals to make sure that we are improving those and that every school has a high functioning council, because that serves as the governing body at the local school level.
Right. And then the other thing I think is important is the general public who maybe don't have children in the school system any longer, but who are paying attention. You're going to be able to get that information, like you said, at the mid-year and at the end of the year of how the whole division's doing. But each school might look a little bit different. Some may be on a little bit of a one kind of path and another one at a different. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean a school is bad. I don't want to say, put that really out there. But if we're constantly improving, all schools are in that phase, right? So I think this is really important for, we can drill down as a locality, and then a little bit bigger as pyramids, and then even overall as the school division, so that everybody who wants to have a stake in this does at some level. So thank you so much for all of that.
Ms. Wall.
All right, Dr. McDade, I have a lot of respect for all the work that went into the development of this strategic plan, and there are a lot of great things in it. I wanted to ask a couple of questions that relate to, so I took the time to read the whole document, every word. Questions that relate to the dual language immersion programs, the addition of 6 more dual language immersion programs, and I understand we have just maybe 2 or something like that, but if you could speak a little bit more about that. And then it related is this, which I thought was really cool, was this credit by exam option for meeting the world language credit requirements. Mm-hmm. So for an advanced diploma, it's 3, and it looks like the VDOE offers 30 different exams. So students who speak, let's say they speak Arabic or Korean or Russian or something that we don't really teach, or maybe they're already fluent in it, so why should they take a class in it, right? Is that the idea?
Right.
That they take this exam, they can earn credits for it, and then they free up room in their schedule to take other classes, maybe pick up another language or do a specialty program or a certification or something like that. I guess those are, I have a couple of, do you want to speak to
so we're like,
either
sure.
of those? They're kind of related. They're the foreign language aspect,
yes.
which I'm really excited about both of these things.
I do want to invite Ms. Rita Goss, our Associate Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, as she led what you're speaking of is in our Learning and Achievement for All commitment around world language and dual language. And one of her directors, Dr. Colon, led the charge around that. So I do want to respect their work and give her an opportunity to speak to it.
Sure. So good evening, Dr. Lateef, school board members, Mrs. Wall. So your first question was around the dual immersion program. So currently we have 1 dual immersion program at Bel Air Elementary School, and we are looking to expand that. That really will assist us in teaching our students all of the content areas in 2 languages, English as well as another language. Currently, Bel Air Elementary has their dual language is English and Spanish. But we would be looking to not only expand that programming around Spanish, French, or German, which are the 3 most common languages taught here in the school division, but also be looking at languages that are necessary for the global economy, which is Arabic, Russian, Mandarin Chinese. So we would be looking to add elementary schools that would be pursuing those languages along with English. And then you asked some questions about the seal of biliteracy and additional tests, and you are spot on that we would be encouraging our multilingual students It is an asset to be multilingual, and we certainly would be utilizing the opportunity to have those students take a test and receive credit for being multilingual and fluent in another language, which would indeed free up space in their schedule to pursue other interests such as CTE or other advanced courses that they are interested in or would like to pursue.
Thank you. And can I ask just a quick follow-up? Do we currently allow students or encourage students or even have students who strive for the seal of biliteracy, and do we have students who achieve?
We absolutely do. We have students that are already achieving that seal of biliteracy, so we would be looking to increase the number of students that we have getting that seal.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm just going to, quick follow-up, because we have you up there, Ms. Goss. While I recognize Arabic and Russian are languages that are spoken by a large population, Hindi and Urdu are spoken by 1 billion plus. So, and we do have a lot of that population here. So as you're looking at which ones to choose, and the economies of scale, I mean, I think that, I think the federal government has also listed Hindi and Urdu as targeted languages that they'd like to see schools sort of adopting in those things. So just something to think about.
Absolutely. There are a number of languages that we'll be considering. Those were just examples that I gave, but excellent call out. Thank you.
Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Dr. McDade and your staff for this comprehensive plan. I'm so thankful for the extensive nature of it, and I share your team's commitment for all students. I believe, I'm going to quote you, have a fair shot and challenge to meet their full potential. And I also agree that we share responsibility for Prince William County students' post-secondary success. As a special educator, I really appreciate that the goals are measurable, and I appreciate the links between the CIP that we heard today and the stuff in the strategic plan. It's kind of like what you said about ensuring a common North Star, and it also recognizes within the plan that success looks different for everybody. I also am very grateful that we use the word teaching assistants in the plan, and that we're going to utilize the skill set that many of our current coworkers have in becoming, helping them become educators. So I had a question about next steps in finalizing the plan, and Dr. Quesada already answered that. And then I had a question about how we're going to visit the goals, and I really like your plan and like how often the public's going to see their progress. And Ms. Agapur discussed the schools improvement plans and the link to, the review discussed the link to the strategic plan. So many of my questions are already answered, but I would like to also piggyback on the conversation about multilingual approach and just to advocate for American Sign Language as being one of the languages. I know that a lot of my students benefited from it, so just wanted to put in a plug. Thank you again for all of this.
Rita?
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Did you want Ms. Goss to speak to American Sign Language?
Sure.
Thank you, Ms. Goss.
Absolutely. So American Sign Language is already offered at one of our high schools, and that is one of the languages that we would be considering as a part of that work to educate our students in dual language.
Yeah, I know it's offered, and I really appreciate that explanation. Thank you.
Ms. Williams, and then I'll go next. Did you?
Oh, I just forgot to mention on my last comment time. I think it can't be understated the shift in culture that the strategic plan brings to our school division. And I didn't neglected to mention earlier, I appreciate our new vision, but also our mission statement, and that they're all in alignment. I think that is the foundation that runs the rest of the division and really is our guiding light for everything that we do. As a board, I think we've heard this several times, but as the public tunes in and listens, more actively as we continue to discuss the strategic plan. I don't think it can be understated enough, or it could be stated enough how much of a culture shift this is, and I believe in the right direction. But I do appreciate our new mission statement and our new vision statement and how it aligns with our strategic plan, and the fact that our plan is not a single-page document. There are real built-in accountability tools. I just can't say it enough. So I encourage everybody to go out and look at those and really understand that our division has shifted. Sometimes we get caught in ways of doing things that we've done in the past, and this is a fresh look and a fresh outlook on what Prince William County School, the direction Prince William County Schools should be going in or will be going in. And I hope that our public and our staff and students can appreciate that. It's hard to make that shift into something new, but I think this is the right way to go. So thank you.
Okay, I have a couple questions, and then I think there might be a member or two that might still have some things. Real quick, can we go to the slide on the per pupil spending? That would have been like third or fourth in the presentation. Is there anybody in charge of slides? So while you're pulling that up, the reason I bring that up is that this is an ambitious plan. And I think it's important for everyone to understand that, plans cost money. And the job that we as school board members have are really 4 jobs. One is hire a superintendent. Number 2 is to come up with a strategic plan. Number 3 is to ensure a good oversight. And number 4 is to make sure we have the funding to do all the things we need to do. These are the 4 things we are responsible for doing. And if we go back to that per pupil slide, you'll see that the community, we haven't done enough, I believe, and it's no secret that I say this every year, that we need to do more on increasing the per pupil spending. And per pupil spending, what does that mean? 90+% of per pupil spending is what we pay our staff and our teachers and our salaries. That makes up the largest chunk of our budget. And that continues to be on the lower side compared to our neighbors in the region. And that's something this board has been committed to increasing at a rate higher than we've ever done in the past. And we commit to continuing to try to do that when we can. But it doesn't come easy. We have to make choices. When we increase salaries, which is really important, we have to do that. We have to find other monies to fund the programs that we want and hire the further staffing we need. For example, one of my concerns is that their science scores obviously was one of the things hit the hardest during the pandemic, along with math. Science was, nationwide a problem, and Prince William's not alone in that. And so I'd love to see some beefing up of our science department and our experts and specialists. We have some elementary schools that have STEM encore programs, and those are some of the programs that were cut first during the pandemic. And one would think that in a pandemic, that should be cut last because the students really need to understand the science around what we're going through. And so I just find that maybe the priorities we have, much of it's based on funding, and it's unfortunate that we have to make some of these, we just, in the real world, we have to make cuts. And so I emphasize to the public that as you look at this plan, and those of you who have enjoyed it and our parents and partners in the community recognize that this plan will cost money. It's something that we are ambitious about. It's something this board, I believe, hopefully will approve this plan in 3 weeks, but that comes with an effort that we must increase funding to our school division. And we have to make real gains on this chart. We cannot continue to be here at the bottom. If we do, we won't achieve what's here in this plan. And I'm just being very frank and honest and stark with everyone. This is not, this plan is great, but there's a lot of things in here that are on the wish list of every board member who spent the last few months working with the superintendent and her staff on what we'd like to see in this. And we're very appreciative that you've included much of what this board has asked to see, and you've learned from our community members and your touring of our schools of what you believe is needed, and you're going to bring that expertise to our division. But for the public, we're going to go into budget season. There's going to be some hard choices we're going to ask the public to make, and ask for their support and commitment, because we do want this community to be a place of a destination to live, and we believe that funding our schools will be the first way to do that successfully. So I mentioned in here that I'd love to see a little bit more, if I had it, I don't really have much criticism. I actually have maybe zero. Outside the fact that I'd like to just see a little bit more beefing up around science curriculum, and I love what we're doing with the languages and our ESOL learners and English language learners. Fantastic stuff in there. Much of what's in here in the accountability, Dr. McDade, as you know, is going to be, because we do site-based management, there's going to be site-based accountability, and we're all going to have to work hard on making sure that every school is really committed to doing this. So, if we're having schools that, might not have programs that Dr. Lateef wants in schools, geometry,
It's in there.
Gifted learners, and Jen Wall, who served on the Gifted Advisory Committee long before she came on here, has brought to the attention, a lot of the concerns that committee has been making year after year, and recommendations that we just haven't followed through with. And many of those recommendations, to be fair, because of money. It's because of money. If we have 17 schools that have to share gifted teachers, we really need to change that. And so all of this, while the plan is wonderful and I love every aspect of it, it does cost us money. And if we don't have the money, then we're going to have to make decisions in this plan. Dynamic is good, but dynamic is also reflective of the challenges we may face in funding. And so I sort of carry on about this because, that's my job, and I have to get the money to make this happen. So I'm going to ask the public in this budget season to understand what the Board of County Supervisors, what we're going to ask them for, what we're asking the state government for, and that the community and the public consider supporting efforts to increase funding in education across the board, wherever we can and however we can do that. And I want the public to also know that parents were heavily involved in this. You've heard that over and over again. Our advisory councils are parent-driven. Your original statement is that this entire plan is community-driven, parent-driven. This school division has always considered what the parents think highly important. And I cannot emphasize that. There was never a time when this school division discounted what the parents thought. Before you arrived, before I came here, Dr. Waltz's commitment was always, it was these advisory councils are made up of parents, and so we do listen to them. So I've carried on a bit too long. I'll go to Ms. Wall and then Ms. Jessie. Ms. Wall had her hand up first. Ms. Wall.
All right, thanks, Dr. Lateef. One of my questions, actually, I'm going to hold one question. I'll just email it later. It had to do with the expanding advanced academic opportunities, the IB program expansion, and the middle year expansion, and then increased dual enrollment offerings, course offerings. So that's kind of academic. So I can ask that question, but I wanted to comment, and I don't know if it'll turn into a question. We'll see, on the compensation and benefits portion of the strategic plan for our certified staff, and classified staff, I assume too. Looking at that to see if we are regionally competitive, and that we'll be doing a comprehensive study of our compensation and benefit programs with prioritized recommendations for improvement, and reviewing job classifications relative to pay grades to ensure internal fairness and external fairness as compared to peer school divisions. And that we will begin this process, is it 2023, when we will begin referencing or using that data that we find to inform strategic investments?
Yeah, so we that's a process that has already been underway. And if Dr. Eagle would like to speak to it, I'll welcome her to come and speak to it. But it is already underway. Her team's been working diligently on this and near actually completion. Of course, in this first budget cycle, we won't be able to achieve everything that we want from that study. And so where you see 23, that's where we're hoping to start to see some impact of that. And then more in the out years. But Dr. Eagle, do you want to speak just briefly about the comprehensive study that has already been started to be developed?
Good evening, school board members. As
Dr. McDade shared, this is work that our staff has been working on over the past actually couple of years. You'll recall a couple of years ago we did add a compensation supervisor to our human resource staff. And we are currently evaluating our compensation relative to peer school divisions, in particular our teaching staff. But it doesn't end there. We actually have been working comprehensively last year, primarily on our administrator pay grades, and this year we did begin looking both for internal and external equity within our classified pay grades. So we do have a plan to move forward with budget recommendations, over the next several years to make adjustments as necessary based on the findings of our compensation studies. In terms of benefits, this is an initiative that Mr. McAlandra has already begun as well with his staff, and we are hopeful to expand those efforts in the coming budget year in terms of our study of our benefit programs.
Okay, great. I think as I listen to employees, that reach out to me from my district or the schools that I service, this is something that is a big interest to a lot of our employees. So I'm glad to hear that. And I think I was happy to see that in the plan. I was happy to see that we are going to be taking a closer look, because I know over the years I've heard, this needs to be adjusted, or this is a little bit out of balance. And also, it looks like in 2023, we will do an assessment similar in scope to that 2017 study about central office administrative positions, and that the results will inform our 2024 budget process. So I just wanted to highlight that I think that those are important. There are a lot of actually really great important things that are proposed in this plan, but I wanted to highlight that and ask about that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Jessie?
I've had several people come to me, and I've noticed in the boardroom that the question about high dosage tutoring and acceleration versus remediation. I know that Dr. McDade, you and your staff have said that you're looking at research-based strategies. I'm wondering if maybe you could, in a nutshell, explain to the public and perhaps to the staff why high dosage tutoring and acceleration versus not versus remediation, but acceleration and the research-based status. I know a little bit about it. It's Success for All, but that's been back in the day. But it seems to be something that's also current, where we move at a faster pace and get these kids moving, and the kids seem to want to move also. Could you address that a little bit for me?
Yes, I will have Ms. Goss, who has led the unfinished learning plan, where we first identified the research for high dosage tutoring, talk a little bit more about that. I know that she did come before the board and have done several public presentations around the unfinished learning plan, specifically identifying high dosage tutoring and the difference between that and acceleration. I'm going to let her take it because this is her work, but I just want to share something that I think is important when we think about how the brain develops, how people learn and grow. If you have a struggling reader, and I think it's a good analogy that kind of helps people who may not be in education or understand this make sense of it. If you have a student who, let's say, is a struggling reader, let's take a 5th grade student that may be reading at the 3rd grade level. If you continue to provide remediation and only, I want to highlight the word only provide the student access to learning and text at the level where they are, which is appropriate, but only do that and not provide them with the level of productive challenge at higher levels, they'll just continue to be a stronger 3rd grade level reader. You have to get students to have productive struggle. It's just like working out at a gym. If you keep lifting the same 20-pound weight, eventually that 20-pound weight won't be heavy to you. And you don't grow stronger in muscle mass or strength by doing the same thing. you have to challenge that muscle and go up higher, maybe 25 pounds or 30 pounds or 35 pounds, and that makes sense to people. Well, it's the same thing with learning. Students have to be challenged and have productive struggle. They have to, even if they do need remediation, they have to have access to grade-appropriate curriculum that gets them to not only for teachers to scaffold to help them to grow, but even to excel beyond their current grade level. And so I use that because usually when I share that example, people understand that. I'll have Rita share kind of the research base around high dosage tutoring and really define what it is. But it doesn't take the place of remediation. It's a strategy that is being used so that we address the fact that students have not had access to some of the content that they should have accessed grade appropriate content during the pandemic because of the loss of instructional time. So it's not just about remediation, it's also about covering the content that students have gaps in as a result of the pandemic. And research across this country shows that high dosage tutoring is the best way to address that. So I'm going to ask Rita to come forward and give some of the research behind that and actually define what it is as well, since this is her work.
So good evening, and thank you, Mrs. Jessie, for that question. I agree a number of people are wondering about acceleration and high dosage tutoring. So first, let's talk about acceleration. Acceleration is really when we focus in on the most essential skills that a student needs or knowledge to reach that grade level learning that's coming up. And so as we're looking to remediate students, we all know that students have lost opportunity to learn over the last 2.5 years because of the pandemic. And all of those gaps can possibly be filled in this year or in the next year. We're going to be recovering for this over the next few years. And so we don't have time, just being honest and transparent, we don't have time to fill in every gap that students have in their learning. So we have to be strategic and targeted. We have to look at the most essential standards, those power standards, if you will, Mrs. Jessie, that will bridge students from where they are to the grade level learning that's coming up next. So we're setting students up to be able to access that grade level learning, to best understand what that grade level learning that is in front of them. And so it's really pre-teaching, if you will, a number of skills and pieces of knowledge that they will need to be the most successful. Again, it does not, that acceleration does not preclude us using interventions or remediation for students, but it is in order to really focus us and be the most targeted we can about trying to close the learning gap the best way that we possibly can. As far as high dosage tutoring, they really go hand in hand. The high dosage tutoring is really the methodology that we're using to try to accelerate students. So we would use that high dosage tutoring, again, not in lieu of interventions or remediation that students may need, but we would use that high dosage tutoring when teachers are really doing this. It's in small groups. It's 1 to 4 students. So we're not having a group of 30 kids in front of us. And we're honing in on what do those few students need to accelerate them. Again, what are those power standards, those essential understandings, those enduring understandings that they absolutely have to have for the units that are coming up in all of the core areas. And so that high dosage tutoring, I think, is something that the research is clear about. The research done all over the country, but also in Chicago Public Schools, is one of the places in which we've seen our university partners note the success of students who have used high dosage tutoring in the ways in which we have successfully made up gaps. And we have to be strategic and intentional because we cannot possibly, we don't have enough time in the day, and schools are not open 7 days a week, and even if we were, We've missed a lot of opportunity, and so we have to be as strategic and intentional as we possibly can. And that's where the research around the acceleration and the high-dosage tutoring is what we're leaning in on.
I would say to you that, like Dr. Lateef said, there are some things that, as I listen to people, I think that there are people who don't know what power standards are, and they don't know the difference between the essential skills. I think that sometimes we're asking teachers to do things that they are not familiar with. So I would like for you guys to look at that and make it an in-service or professional development opportunity, because I think once teachers understand that power standards make a great deal more sense than trying to teach every single standard. There's too many standards to teach. But I think we need to really put that on as a professional development plan. If you would look at that, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll continue to do that. Mrs. Jessie, I do want to just let everyone know that this past summer, our supervisors for each of our content areas spent time with our lead teachers and others across the division to identify those essential understandings in each of the curriculums on Canvas. But you make a good point. We want to keep revisiting that and ensure that all of our teachers are understanding what those are in the curriculum. So thank you.
They just have to hear it more than once, Rita.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, I think, did you have any more, Ms. Wall? Okay, she will, and remember, board members, it is imperative that you all continue to get feedback on your own, work with your constituencies, and continue to communicate with Dr. McDade and her staff over the next few weeks as we finalize this, and we'll bring to the public the final draft in early February. Thank you very much, Dr. McDade.
All right,
Thank
and
you.
Dr. Lateef, and to
Yes.
the entire board, we will provide you, prior to consideration of adoption of the strategic plan, we will be providing you with a summary of all of once the period comes to a close, we'll provide you with a summary of all of the feedback that we've received, and how we'll incorporate that into the next iteration of the document.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we should give them a round of applause. That was outstanding. Outstanding. Moving on next, we have to just confirm the January 4th, 2022 board poll. A motion is in order. On this poll, just as a point of order, Ms. Ralston, you don't need to take a vote on this one since at the time that the poll was due, we weren't able to get the vote. So don't worry about, I won't be calling your name. So you're not missing much. I need a motion, Ms. Jackson.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Prince William County School Board confirm the January 4th, 2022 board poll approving continuing the January 5th, 2022 school board meeting to January 12th, 2022 due to weather-related circumstances.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Ms. Zargarpur seconds. Any discussion? Okay. So just vote the way you voted last week when you did the board poll. Ms. Jessie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay.
So the vote is 5 yes, 2 no, 1 abstain.
Okay. Moving on to next, we are doing the, what am I up next to? Oh, revision policy 123, duties of clerk, deputy clerk. That's on for first reading. If there's any questions, if not, that's on for first reading. I'll have the board members just please, email me, division counsel, Dr. McDade, clerk, deputy clerk, on any questions you might have on this policy, and this will be up for, when is this up for? It'll be next week. Okay. Okay, next we'll go, moving on to board matters. I think we will start, how about we start with Ms. Williams today?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I didn't realize until not too long ago that it's been almost an entire month since we've met. So lots to update. The Racial and Social Justice Commission met on 12/16 and voted to approve our one-year annual report that was submitted to the Board of County Supervisors. It is now up to the Board of County Supervisors to determine next steps for the committee, and hopefully we'll hear some more from them in January as it is up for discussion and determination of what they're going to do with the report. As a board, we hosted, as a school division, we had our legislative breakfast on December 8th, which is our opportunity to meet with our delegate from Prince William County, answer and ask questions, and get a look at what to expect from the legislators this year, upcoming year. We had some change in leadership, so it was nice to meet some of our new delegates who actually are in Richmond now because their session started, I believe, today. Also attended the Spark event on 12/9, which was the 2025 Vision launch. It was a very well-attended event. Nice to hear from our business partners the goals and objectives of Spark, and to hear our superintendent again emphasize this division's desire to build more business partners and solidify our current business partners to further work with our school division. On December 14th, we had a joint board meeting where we discussed, or I guess sort of the BOCS presented their plan for the future. Again, it was emphasized, and I can't emphasize this enough, how much the school division really impacts Prince William County as a whole. I mean, we are the largest employer. We continue to lead the way in our environmental studies, our equity work, just about everything that we do. I think we lead the way in the county, and I'm very proud of that. And as budget season comes up, I can't miss the opportunity to emphasize that. We do meet with the Board of County Supervisors so that they can approve our budget. But I don't think it's understated. I don't think it can be understated how much of an impact this school division makes to this county. And it's the reason, one of the reasons why people move here. Also, in the month of December, I was very pleased to be able to attend yet again the annual Kwanzaa celebration, that's hosted by Delegate Cannon King and Mayor Wood. It's a learning opportunity for those members in the community who aren't familiar with Kwanzaa, but it's also an excellent opportunity to celebrate Kwanzaa. I was very grateful to be able to attend. Some other board members were there as well. And for my family, it's always a learning event that's interactive, and I appreciate them taking the time to host it. Upcoming, we will have this month, we'll celebrate Human Rights Day with the county. And I just want to send a special congratulations to my frat brothers, Phi Beta Sigma, the Omicron Zeta chapter, who are nominated for an award, and say happy Founders Day to them. It was on the 9th. For those who don't know, Phi Beta Sigma is constitutionally bound to my sorority, Theta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and part of the Divine Nine, which impacts education at all levels from K through 12, and then, of course, and college and post-secondary. So I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Wonderful. Ms. Argo.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for this year in my service as vice chair. It was certainly eventful. Ms. Jackson, I wish you lots of luck. Let me know if you need any advice. December seems like it was so long ago. As I was listening to Ms. Jackson, I'm like, yeah, I went to Spark too. I did the breakfast and everything. Also got to attend a few concerts. Want to just take a pause here to make sure, students, you are amazing. Having sports in a pandemic, having music in a pandemic has been certainly a challenge, and those extracurriculars are really, really important. So keep investing your time in those things. You're doing a fantastic job. Those concerts were great. Sports events that I've gone to, they're great. They're fun to watch. So just keep doing those things. Dig into your passions and find things that just fill your life with all your interests. We'll keep doing that, and we'll be okay, right? I also want to just mention, I know that staff has put in a lot of hard work through this pandemic. Clearly, we had the snow removal and all that good stuff. I'm just going to throw out a couple of things, and I did not ask if this was okay, but I am noticing across the country there are retention bonuses for staff during this time. We're now going to have people making decisions about what their employment's going to look like for next year. I still believe that teaching is the most important profession in the entire world. It is the best job ever. I encourage people to come into this profession. But I understand the pandemic's made things very difficult. So any way we can think about retention bonuses, think about ideas for taking something off the plates of our teachers and some of our staff. And I think it's asking those people, what is it that would help you do your job better? So I hope we will listen to them and what they say. Last thing I want to talk about is parents as partners. From time to time, the Virginia Department of Education will put up something about reviewing the standards of learning. We call them SOLs. Every subject has an SOL. Not every subject is tested. The one that is up for review right now is the data science. They just had a public meeting or a public comment time on the 11th, and another one's coming up. You can look, I posted it on my Facebook, but you can also look at the VDOE website for that information. And it has been a month, and in this month, we have had a huge increase in this virus that's going around. So I will say, Dr. Lateef, wear your mask. Do it. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Get the vaccine if you can. Boost it if you can. Make sure that you stay home if you're sick, and other than that, stay well, everybody.
Ms. Wall.
I have to say, I really enjoyed the last 3 weeks of winter break and Christmas vacation, but after 3 weeks, I'm with a lot of students and even more parents. I'm happy to be back. I want to publicly thank our hardworking principals again for their dedicated service to our division and to our students and our counselors as well. Here's some things that I'm looking forward to in the new year. The budget season, maybe the ghost of, what was his name? No, I can't even think of it. Yeah, Steve Walz is fast. The VSBA Legislative Conference in 2 weeks, the robotics competitions that are in person, all county orchestra, all district band and choir, winter sports, and this is the best, hearing where seniors are going to go to college. So before joining the board, through my work on the division's Gifted Advisory Committee and through serving on principals advisory committees at the elementary and middle school years, now as a board member, I'm very aware of most of our challenges. From day one, I've tried to emphasize issues that I consider most important, such as student achievement and academic excellence for all. The strategic plan is a great step in that, in achieving those goals. It has a lot of great things in it to be optimistic about. Above all, if we're successful with the best parts of this plan, then students are going to be the greatest beneficiaries, which is, after all, why we're here. And as I think about the months ahead and the years ahead, I'm reminded that success is a journey, not a destination. And the course of our lives is not determined by great, awesome decisions. Our direction is set by the little day-to-day choices which chart the track upon which we run. So, do you want to change the shape of your life? Change the shape of your day. Do you want to change your day? Change this hour. Change what you think, feel, and do at this very moment. And as I reflect on new beginnings, because it's January, it feels like a new beginning, I know that it's the day-to-day efforts of every student and every employee that will determine our course. Will we succeed? I fully expect that we will, with the collective commitment and fidelity to those day-to-day choices that we each make. And lastly, I want to say that I will be holding joint office hours with Ms. Jackson for our neighboring districts next Tuesday, January 18th at the Haymarket Gainesville Library from 6 to 8 p.m. And to reserve a time to visit with us, send us an email. Our emails are listed on pwcs.org under board. And thanks everyone, and have a good night.
Thank you, Ms. Wall. We'll go to Mr. Wilk, and then we'll go to the folks at home. Mr. Wilk.
Thank you, Dr. Lateef. Good to follow Ms. Wall after that. I don't have a poem. Mine's just facts. But that was nice. So a couple events that occurred right before we went on holiday Christmas break. Just want to recognize some that I attended. Triangle Elementary had a second great Title I night. They had a great one in the fall when school reopened, and then they had just another one. And I was encouraged to see the huge swell and turnout of parents that participated in that event. So I want to thank the principal and his team that stayed that night. Was able to attend a number of holiday events, especially ones, we did Forest Park, they did Breakfast with Santa again. They tried bringing that back, with the pandemic. They did a really good job, I would say, and the students, thank you for partaking in that. Went to a Forest Park choral concert, and then I was at a orchestra concert, which I think Ms. Zagapur was jealous I got to conduct Sleigh Ride in that red jacket. Don't be jealous. So that was great. Then, we had the 3 weeks off, and I felt trapped. I felt like it was monotonous, and then there was a lot of Netflix. And then the first night I could go back out to things, on Saturday this past weekend for in-person events, I went to my first swim meet as a school board member and watched Forest Park and Potomac have their meet in the pool at Colgan. And this week I've been focusing every morning on going to one of my buildings. Work has picked up, so I don't have as many days to just spend the entire day out at school, so I'm going day by day. So I had the pleasure of being in Potomac High School on Monday, Potomac Middle School on Tuesday, and then this morning I was at Graham Park Middle School. And then last night I did have the pleasure of going to my first Blue Blood Potomac basketball game of the season, the men's basketball game, which they defeated Garfield last night. So looking forward to more events, more activities, and being part of my schools. I do want to thank my principals for doing an outstanding job during the pandemic and beyond. It's been a very strong, tough year, as they've all reiterated to me, but they're persevering and doing an outstanding job. And then, of course, I want to reiterate the work that our teachers are doing, and looking at the upcoming budget season and advocating for teachers to have a stronger voice in the process is definitely something I foresee for the future. And I am done. Thank you.
Miss Jessie?
Good evening. I want to start with something that's very personal because my husband asked me to do this. I am home not because of an illness. I do have some medical issues, but he wanted me to alert you, the members of the board, and the members of my community that he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And he has just completed most of his treatment, and we have to be very careful about where I go and who I interact with. And the reason he wanted me to, it was twofold. One, he felt my community needs to know why I was virtual. And secondly, he thinks that he has prostate cancer as a silent killer, and it's not a silent killer, but it's a silent disease, and it is curable. And he wanted people to know, especially men, that you need to get your prostate checked, and he wanted to alert that as a community service. So that's number one. Number two, I am on I've been appointed to the Virginia School Board Challenging Schools Environment Committee, and we met on Saturday. We met with various delegates. We met with about 3 delegates. Things are going to change, people, and I think we need to be ready for it. I don't want to go into detail, but I will ask that when I do get information, that I'll be allowed to present. I've also been appointed to the Virginia School Board Association's Federal Relations Committee, and I met with some of those people virtually. That's a very new committee, and I will be meeting with various congressmen and various people in relationships to the school board, so I will be asking for your input. Finally, I would I'm asking, I think I have a slide. Do I have my slide up? Thank you. You know, when you talk about acceleration and instead of remediation, I've had the honor of being a part of this program for almost 30 years. This is going to January 17th. The theme is Beyond Dreams and Mountains, and we will have 3 speakers. And this is sponsored by the Prince William County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, always in collaboration with the school board. And I want to thank the communications people because I went to the website and we're on the website. The theme that there are 3 middle school speakers and 3 high school speakers. The 3 high school speakers are from, let's see, I think I've got it right. We've got Garfield, Osborne Park, and Hilton. And we have 3 middle schools, and that is Graham Park, Bull Run, and I'm not sure I have the 3rd one here, but anyway, I would like for you all to attend. I think you've received something in your emails. It is going to be virtual, and we will have the Martin Luther King Choir also presenting. Sheila Mitchell is the coordinator of this program. Please get in touch with her. She's done a tremendous job. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank all the principals who have worked so hard. And I will be in contact with you, and I will try to interact with you as much as I can once we get physician's approval. Thank you.
Ms. Rawls?
I'll put a prayer in, please, for him, because Mr. Jesse is a very good man. So I will keep a prayer circle of my friend.
Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that.
Okay, Diane, are you good? Okay. We'll move on next to, yes, no, I was going to do that. I just was trying to see we're good with Ms. Ralston. Okay, Ms. Wall. I'm sorry, I'm looking there. Ms. Jackson, Vice Chair, Adele Jackson, Brentsville District.
Okay, so first, I want to say Happy New Year's to everybody, and I appreciate the nomination for Vice Chair, and Ms. Jessie, a prayer to your husband, Mr. Jesse. I'm going to try to keep my board brief because it has been a long meeting. I just want to quickly reference, because it has to do with the new year, school board ethics, because ethics are like resolutions that we should follow. They're posted up here so that we can reference them often, and they're online, and you can email us for a link. I was also going to take a moment and just advocate for when we finalize the vision and mission, if we could post that also somewhere up here. Thank you to Dr. McDade for your leadership on the strategic plan and your continued commitment to engaging stakeholders, and for the multiple opportunities to advocate and to ask questions. And to community members, don't forget, if you didn't speak tonight, you can still provide input online or email your board member. I want to also thank Mr. Miller and Coach Walker for taking the time to come today. I know that teachers are really busy, and I want to make sure I congratulate their schools and students one more time, specifically Mr. Murphy. I'm so proud to be their representative. Thank you to all Prince William County staff for answering our questions tonight, and to those who came and spoke tonight. To Ms. Wall and I are having office hours on the 18th, which she spoke about the details, but Ms. Agapur and I are also having office hours. We have not hatched out the details, but it is scheduled the 27th. My neighboring districts are Coles and Gainesville, and that's the reason why that we are meeting. I know that every meeting I thank Prince William staff for everything that they do, and I know this year has been incredibly hard and the pandemic incredibly unfair. I know that there's no word that describes or defines the workload that staff has undertaken, from cleaning schools, driving students, providing related services, running a school or school division, or direct instruction, or handling the unprecedented snow. And I'm just extremely grateful. And I also want to take a minute, even though I know it's not school counseling week, to thank school counselors, because They support not only students but staff, and their toolkit is never ending, and neither is their commitment. And lastly, I want to express my sincere gratitude to all Prince William County staff, principals, specifically those in the Brentsville district. I can honestly say that every principal in the Brentsville, since my term has started, has welcomed me and taken the time to let me know how their staff and students are doing, which helps me represent my district, and I know they're extremely busy, so I appreciate it. And I've never been an administrator, but I've had some amazing ones, and it's an incredibly tough job, and these years have not made it easier. Things are constantly changing, and they bear the weight of the school on their shoulders with a smile, and I'm just incredibly grateful for their affect, commitment, knowledge, and kindness. And thank you to all those who came today, and have a nice night.
Thank you, Miss Jackson. All right, well, welcome all, and as we wrap up this first meeting of 2022, I want to first thank Lisa Zargapur for being our second pandemic vice chair. Let's give her a round of applause. Long meetings last year, long meetings outside of the long meetings last year, and I can't thank Ms. Zargapur from the Coles District enough for representing her constituents so well, for really coming and really doing a great job for the school board in maybe the toughest time in the history of school boarding, as she says, in the history. And so Ms. Williams was our first pandemic vice chair, Ms. Zargapur is our second pandemic vice chair, and because as one of the speakers said, what did she say, Ms. Wall? This thing just doesn't end? What the hell? What did she say? We're in this and it just will never end. Ms. Ronna Call, I think, said that. The third pandemic vice chair will be Adele Jackson. Congratulations, Ms. Jackson. A round of applause for her. And we all look forward to working with her this year and hearing from her more. Welcome to the first meeting of 2022. This was a great strategic plan. I again will encourage everyone to go, get on there, read about it, learn about it. It is fantastic. It's really well done. It's ambitious. It is comprehensive. It is aspirational. And those are the reasons we hired Dr. Latanya McDade to be our superintendent. This is how she interviewed exactly 1 year ago. This is what she promised to bring to the school division, and this is how I think Dr. McDade is delivering on that promise, and we are excited by it. And so we really do encourage everyone. We do want to hear what you have to say about it, where you think it may needs to be beefed up, where you think things need to be changed. Please share that with us. We're excited because that's going to be the blueprint for how we move forward. And with that, again, I'll remind everyone that we are moving into budget season. We have a number of meetings coming up tonight. You heard the capital improvement plan, which is very exciting. I want to highlight the fact that we're going to aim for a net zero school in 2025 in elementary school. There are some exciting things in the capital improvement plan, some needed projects, and we've added some projects. And so we hope that if the budget looks good this year, maybe we can do some more, but we're working on it. So to all of you waiting for projects to be done at your schools, we hear you and we're going to get moving on that. Lastly, Principal Appreciation Week. This is the third year of the pandemic now for you all as well, and all of our teachers. We cannot thank you. You truly are the heroes. You may not hear it enough, and may not feel like everyone believes it, but I can tell you that everyone does believe it. We have, I think everyone in the community on all sides of every issue is extremely frustrated, and we're really hoping for the end of this thing. And but until that comes, we can't thank you enough for all the great work you're doing, all the heavy lifting you're doing, and all of the patience you have with us on this board, with your students, with your parents, with your staff. It's what's going to get us through all of this. So thank you, and we truly appreciate you and your our counselors. We love you. We can't thank you enough for what you do for our students, especially our high school students, and getting them ready for their post-secondary life, and then obviously our counselors in our elementary and middle schools. Thank you for what you're doing for their mental health and everything. So with that, let's carry on to a good 2022. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.